I'm gonna pause this. Or we'll start recording. Okay. This is our doula circle for June. And Lisa is our guest today to talk about some tips for finding clients for our first half. And then the second half, I'll talk about breastfeeding classes that we're coming up with. Okay, go ahead, Lisa.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm a bit nervous, haven't done any public speaking in a while, so forgive me if I messed up a little bit. So I was talking with Julia and we were trying to discuss the 5 ways to get more clients, and she was like, we need some things out of the box. So I dug deep because I'm also like a virtual assistant / web designer. So I kind of dug deep. And so these methods also apply to other types of businesses as well. But from my research, I don't see why it wouldn't work for us as doulas. So hopefully I don't mess up. If you have questions, feel free to ask them. I'm fine with interruptions or anything like that. Kind of keeps me on the mojo of everything. So let me find my screen here and we will share it. And then we will be ready to go. Where is that now?
While you're finding yours, I'm going to find mine.
That sounds like me. So what I wanted to say was that, of course, there's a lot of different aspects when it comes to getting different clients. One of the biggest ones that I found in my business was networking and referrals. So when you connect with other doulas, if they don't have time that month, then they'll be able to connect you with someone else. So for instance, there was a time where I used to live. I was really active with a few of the doulas that didn't hate me. And they decided that she was going on vacation for the summer. So she was like, would you be the person that I could refer people to? And I was like, totally fine, because I don't have money for a vacation. So I'm home. So she had done that. And then that's how I got some clients. Like I was through her. And then some of them I didn't click with, so it didn't work. But I was able to meet new people that way, right? And of course, another way to get referrals is from the past clients you did have. When they really like your work and stuff like that, they will automatically talk about you with your friends. So another reason why you want to try to do your best, and hopefully they're happy, right?
Yeah.
A second way is also to make sure that you're building a brand and that you become trustworthy with your audience. So the fun thing that I have learned a lot through things is that apparently most people love it when you give them free information. You can give them all the tips and tricks for free on your social media or your blogs, and they could literally DIY themselves. But because they built the trust of like, oh, I go to you because I know you share all the information, then they're like, oh, well, I should hire her or I should hire him. So that's kind of something that I've learned a lot of as well. And then since I am spilling out some insider secrets here, I work with a business coach as like her virtual assistant. And the one thing she always talks about is that apparently at this current moment, only 2% of your audience is ready to buy today. And so if you have like 5 people, I'm not very good at math, but that's none of them. So
can I interrupt there a minute?
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
Well, I had just posted, I was trying to do like this Rebozo workshop, and I posted something in the like I'm new to doula or something, one of those groups in Facebook. So far I've had 2 people sign up, and it like 20 people or 30 people said they were interested. So I'm probably gonna get 3 or 4, maybe. Yeah. So you're right. You're right on that percentage.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm not very good with the math out of 5, but
yeah,
I should have done 100.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm hopeful I'll get a few more people. But yeah, okay, you've got some points there. I think about, I just want people to sign up now for my stuff, and I'm like, maybe they're just not ready yet or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that actually comes to the next point that I've always been taught is that apparently 60% of your audience don't even know that they need you right now.
Okay, so how do I get people then from that then?
Well, it kind of goes hand in hand with the free stuff. There's a lot of people that like the free stuff. So maybe with your Rebozo workshop too, you just are like, okay, here's a Rebozo method. You kind of semi-teach it already on your social media, make a blog, and people will look at that and then they're like, oh, she's teaching that. And then they go for another free. They kind of
a lot of free video or something, maybe.
Yeah, a lot of people go for the free, and then depending on how much, they will kind of keep absorbing that. And then when they come to a point that they're like, well, I can't use any more of your free help, I need your paid help, then that's kind of their methods.
But
So
isn't that a little bit kind of getting you out of business though in a way? Because I'm like, what if you give away too much free? Where do you stop? I guess that's my question.
well, a lot of the people that I've seen and helped and stuff like that, they give a lot that you would think, you know what, I never need to hire you. But because a lot of people, and I mean this is no insult to anyone, but eventually a lot of people, how do I say this not? Eventually a lot of people decide that, you know, it's not, see, when you read things online, because you can now with the internet and Google, I can literally Google anything I want. I could just find right all the information. Like if I look up Rebozo methods, I can find it all over. But there's something different when you learn it with someone, like a more one-on-one support and stuff. So because you keep posting something and they're learning from you, you become their trusted source. So instead of Google, they're like, hey, I'm going to look at Julia's website. She's got all the information I need. Or I'm going to go to Mariana's website. She's got it all right there. Like I just go straight there and bam, I have all the answers. I didn't need Google. So you become your own source of Google in a sense that people will then start to see you as the search engine rather than Google.
Well, I guess I'm learning something already. So maybe I should just blog more or maybe do YouTube videos more. I'm thinking about doing more YouTube because another lady on Facebook said, well, you have to just she wanted me to take her $25 YouTube class, but it's like a subscription. And so I'm like, I'm not very good at subscriptions because I'll forget to cancel because I don't want to, like, I might take it for a month or something just to get my $25 worth. But, I don't want to get stuck on something. I was just like, I think I'm just going to start posting more on YouTube or somewhere or something,
Well, that's the thing. The more information you share, the more people start to look at you and that stuff. So I did come up with 5 different unique ways to try to teach you some different methods on trying to get people. So the very first one I decided was to talk about in-person events. Since COVID slowed down, we are now allowed to go back into more in-person kind of things like that. So it does seem like a no-brainer because, you're talking to people, and I got a lot of my clients from those kind of methods. Now, because of COVID, there's a lot more online. So for pregnancy and birth alone, there's definitely more online pregnancy expos. Of course, the one day I'm looking for one, I can't find it. I see it all the time. And then the one day I want to do a presentation on it, it's not coming up. So we
need to do one of those together then. Go ahead.
So one of the things that I did for my in-person events was I gave away a small package of my birth services. So the small packages consist of one prenatal, the birth, and then a postpartum visit. So when I did a draw, so everyone would come by my table, they would get to put their name in this prize, and then of course you always have to explain the difference between a doula and a midwife. You better learn that off by heart when talking to people. And what happened was I had done like 4 different events in the same month almost, and I ended up getting 3 different people to upgrade. So when I had their consultation, in a sense, meeting with them and explaining the winning of the package and everything, I told them you could upgrade to my next package for, I think I did it for like $100 at the time because I really just wanted them for my certification. So I got 3 of them to upgrade. So technically what I gave away for free, I already had technically got them to become paid. Because they thought, for $100 to get 2 extra prenatals, to get a meal planning session and all this, they were much more eager for $100 to upgrade.
You have to tell me more what you do later, okay? That sounds good. I'm working here today, and I would have heard something else. This is worth just doing so I can learn something.
So anyway, that's kind of what I had done for trying to get more people. But when you talk to people, I find that a lot of them, they just wanted you more to listen to their stories. Like I had one person, she had explained about she was pregnant with twins, and she had already had twins. And she said the first time around that she did it, no one was around. Her mother-in-law decided not to come and help. And then the dad had to leave in 6 weeks. So she was kind of like, if I have twins, you would be ideal. And then we found out that we were 2 hours away from each other. So, and at that time I was like, yeah, no, that's a little impossible, but I've tried to help her find new people in her area. So that kind of works the best for, in a sense, in-person events. So I use Eventbrite for finding events. So of course nothing's coming up in Saskatchewan related to pregnancy, but Eventbrite and the Google event, the events on Facebook here, because I'm seeing different ones. Now, of course, these ones seem to be online, I'm seeing here, but a lot of them are from different areas. So they're not even in my area. So if you travel a bit, then that could also get you, because you'll find that if there's a pregnancy expo, say, you know, in the middle of one province or in the States, like in one state, that some other people might actually go from from other cities to that one. So you may actually find people in your area as well. And then it depends if you do virtual services as well. So that's why I found like this one, but it's online, but it's from someone else teaching class. But you could find more pregnancy events typing it up in just like Facebook and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I will go to my notes because I
So
have more.
So I should host some online events like that too, or something.
Yeah. And use like Facebook. Facebook is a really big tool that I say. I know social media is kind of like the overrated term, but I'm like, you got to find the little hubs, which kind of promotes into my second one, which is Facebook groups. So Facebook groups still seem to be a very big thing. And actually what like my business coach that I work with, she's saying that actually most of the time your Facebook page, like the business page, isn't actually being shared out that much. When you're in your like your feed, do you ever see a business page, or do you see groups and profiles?
I do groups more. I actually have I'm active in at least 2 of my groups. I probably should make other groups, but it's hard to keep up with 100 groups. So I kind of narrowed it down to 2 for mostly right now, and that's it. The Doula Money group and the Catholic Doula group. Those are the 2 I mostly am.
Yeah. Exactly. And so I believe you're allowed at least 5,000 groups, I think, or 6,000 groups you're allowed to be in and everything. So join away. So these kind of types of groups are really popular with pregnancy and birth, pregnancy support, and do 2023 to 2024. It's got 7,000 members. There's 10 posts a day. It's very active. So a lot of people were mentioning and stuff like that you should try to set up your own group that's kind of like this. So you will find that you might have actually competitors trying to, join in as well. And it depends on what kind of network, again, that you have in your area. But if you set this up and you add like your location, see, I'm in a very rural location, so there's not many people. But if you live in, say, a city,
an hour away, I have to think of like Manhattan. I'm in a Salina moms group, but I haven't seen that many Manhattan mom groups. Maybe I should make one for that area or something.
Yeah, totally. And that's kind of the thing. You have to find out where there are less of that kind of group as well. Yeah. So if you see here, like there's this one, and I can almost guarantee you Pregnant Women 2023/2024, this used to be like 2018, 2019 moms, because it's got over 400,000 people in the group. So I can guarantee you they probably have just changed the years as time goes on. But that's kind of another way that you can try to intermingle yourself. And if you become sort of a figurehead again, where people are like coming to you for information, that's where more people want to hire you, is because you're like, oh, you know everything, you're so smart. Like you share all the stuff. Like a lot of the times with these kind of groups, you will see people posting like, oh, I was told by the doctor so-and-so today that I need to take the gestational diabetes test. And then you could be like, well, guess what? There's actually so many different options. And you provided them information for free that they'll be like, oh, they see you keep coming back. So I always, when I'm in these kind of groups, I always start off with like, hey, I'm a certified doula. I had learned that there's actually this many methods to gestational diabetes test, and that's not the only one that you could try if you don't want to try that one. So that's kind of the starting point I lead with. And then sometimes I'll get a comment trail. You know how you get like one comment reply and you reply back to them, and then you've started a conversation of at least 50 comments back, one and forth. So Facebook groups are a really great way of getting out there. If you own them, you make the rules. So that's what I like. How many times you post or whatever. But of course that comes with more like time to monitor it and
that's big time.
And so those are the kind of things you have to tackle with. And then there's just being in a group like this, say pregnancy support. You're just in there, and then you decide to support people for free. And let's all be honest, we all click the stalker button of looking at your name and seeing like, what's on your profile? I'm curious. So that was my tip number 2, my idea, because those are very popular as well. So number 3 comes down to landing pages and funnels.
Okay.
So when people are looking for your services and everything like that, you see normally those service pages that where there's like 1 image and 2 images and 3, and you're like, oh, click this one for birth, click this one for postpartum, click this one for fertility. That gets people distracted a lot of the time, especially if you've got the header where it says like, oh, name, like the home page, the about page, all that kind of stuff. So that's where people came up with landing pages. Okay. So this is one here. I was scrolling through it apparently already. So this is the Blood Mystery School, and this teaches kind of like menopause or whatnot and those kind of things for women and all that stuff. So as you can see here, I don't have a header. I can't see anything else about their website unless I literally remove Blood Mysteries at the top of the link. It's a big giant image. Like I literally cannot leave this page if I wanted to. So they call this like a landing page funnel type thing because it just keeps going.
I think I can get one. I can do one through Miller Lite, I think. Anyway, go ahead.
So if you go down, the biggest things with landing pages is that there's 3 key things. You continue to tell them information about the whatever service you're offering or what a course or whatnot. Okay. Second thing, you got to have lots of buttons. Just every time I decide that I'm not like, oh, I don't want to scroll up to join. Like, oh, look, here it is right at the top. I don't know anything about it, but I could already join the wait list right now if I wanted to. So in the beginning of this one, like they put a video here and they explain, like, do you feel the key, like a deep calling or whatnot? Then they ask question and then they're like, this program is for you. A button again. So it may seem like when you're going through it, you're like, wow, this is really ridiculous. But 9 out of 10 times, even when I click them, I keep scrolling all the way to the bottom to look through everything. So here you have a picture. They explain who they are a little, well, not this section, but normally you explain yourself a little bit, like who you are, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then we got a review. We have a testimonial. Okay. So as we keep scrolling, we explain more about it. So it's more of a very long explanation with lots of things that keep changing because a lot of people's attention spans today are like this. Like it's the size of a like I even noticed it. I get like quickly, ooh, I still have the Facebook tab open. Let me go look through that instead. Like it happens so much to us. So that's why
make a landing page for the Rebozo thing. That's a good idea. Yeah, okay.
Something just long that keeps them going. Believe me, like if you see, I don't know if you could see my little sidebar telling you how long I got to scroll for this page, but as you can see, join the wait list again. So you keep getting options to see things. They add pictures, you add like break it up with bullet points, and then how it works. And then, like I said, the meet your guide section. So then you of course do it with your fonts, your colors, all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of the website, but at the same time, it's just a very long funnel in a sense. So you're keep letting them see and read things that would be more informative. So another review. And then of course this is a class. So it's like a schedule or whatnot here. And then they break it up by different sections, colors, that kind of stuff. Another button. And then since this is a course, it goes on to the curriculum and all this kind of stuff here. And then they break it up. They go like, guess what? In here, we also do monthly workshops. So say if you did prenatals. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's long.
Longer than usual.
So like say with your prenatals or something, you would say, oh, for prenatal 1, we talk all about blah, blah, blah. And you explain it here. Then you do prenatal 2, prenatal 3. And they kind of have something to know what it's already all about in a sense. Mm-hmm. And then what's included. So you could make them like, oh, I also give you this whole free pregnancy journal or whatever, right? Just like different key things. Mm-hmm. They added a video review. So someone who reviewed their course, put that in. So in the future, if you get a client, ask them then to do a video review if they feel like it. They could make it. You have it on your website because right now, apparently, videos are very popular. I don't have the patience or like time constraint to sit and watch videos anymore. So I'm not your target audience in video land, but whatever. So it just goes on and on. So over here, then they explain the price, and the price is way at the bottom. So you're not knowing the price after I click join the wait list 2 times above. Because you didn't see it. Like if 9 out of 10 times people don't go all the way to the bottom. So if you put it there, it would only be when they, see it much later on. So then of course more reviews, and then your frequently asked questions, and then their mailing list. So over here, this doesn't even allow you. Well, 9 out of 10 times the footer would allow me to click to your full website then.
Okay.
But this just blocks everything off, and it's one long stroll that 9 out of 10 times, if they're booking a call with you or they're going to see you, they probably will not ask any questions because they read everything on the website. So it's very expanded this way. But it's like it said, it's a funnel because it drags people to go down, down, down in an endless loop of information. And 9 out of 10 times or 8 out of 10 times, they will end up clicking join the wait list somewhere around here because it's been like 6-8 options. So that was my other idea that I thought I would share, because these I've noticed have really been everywhere I'm going. I'm always ending up in these funnels that it's kind of like,
yeah, I think I end up in them a lot too. So yeah.
So that's because that's kind of the thing.
I just didn't know how to do it on my website. I think Miller Lite has this looks like a regular website, and they just took out all the links.
Headers and
yeah, I think
that's pretty much So number 4 was passive income items. Okay. So you might be like,
passive
income. So a lot of people, when they're buying like an ebook or they're buying some sort of printable or something like that, they already have a form of a question in their head. Oh, I really know I want to have a pregnancy journal. These kind of, say you do I'm just using pregnancy journal as an example, and you have prompts in there and everything like that. And of course, my favorite thing is I put like doula tips or something in the corner, and you kind of promote yourself at the same time, giving information. And then you make sure at the very end of it, you have a page that's like, thank you for purchasing, or thank you so much, or I hope that this has helped you some way, or whatever. This is just one that I have kind of used. I don't really like the style of it anymore. So that's why it's in Canva, because I'm updating it. And so you put an image of yourself, and like this thing is missing it here right now, but you would have a button that's like, hey, if you like this and you think that you would need more assistance in blah, 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 whatever you do, it's a pregnancy book, I'd promote the pregnancy stuff. So then you'd be like, book a discovery call. It's free, 30 minutes. You can ask me questions, and maybe I could be of even more help. And in there, then the book, the discovery call, you can sell yourself a bit more. So of course, with passive income stuff, you're making more money because they already bought the book, or they already bought the whatever you're trying to sell. So you kind of already had made some money off them, even if the 30-minute discovery call goes nowhere if they did hire you. So those kind of things are always a really great way that they see you again pop up. I've seen some people, they put this message in the front of the book. I like it at the end of the book. So it all depends, really, your style and what you kind of like with that. I've seen with people, even if they don't do ebooks, they still have like a little page at the end of it, whatever it may be. Like if you buy things off Etsy or, other printable stuff, right? You always see at the back of it or somewhere, hey, this is me. This is what I do. Go check the rest of my stuff out. So, there's always that kind of option as well to get more people. And I haven't had it work for me yet, but I have had someone else of a different type of business, and it worked for her. She's gotten a few sales calls off it. So I don't see it why it wouldn't work for us. So my very last one, and I saved this one kind of for last because this one is the most actionable, and a lot of people say it really, really works for them, is the book a discovery call button on your website. And you might be like, I've heard this before. The book a discovery call. Why would I mention this? Well, the most actionable place right now on your website is on the top right-hand corner. You can always
know that.
You can always think
that up.
Pardon? What did you say?
I said, how do I set that up on Weebly? You're gonna have to set one up for me on Weebly then, since you're I don't know
about Weebly. I haven't got it to work on Weebly yet. I actually had someone I helped make her website on Weebly.
Okay.
And then we were both so annoyed with setting it up on Weebly, we just decided to move it to WordPress.
Maybe you could just put it in the front center on Weebly, because there is like a little header. Maybe you could just put a button there and
yeah, well, I could look into seeing what we could do for that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
the top right hand corner is the most actionable.
I
So
didn't know that.
8 out of 10 websites, what do we see in the top right corner? Does anyone want to suggest if they remember websites?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay. It's social media links.
Okay.
It's the Facebook, Instagram logo, Pinterest, or whatnot.
I think
So you're
mine at the
using
bottom somewhere.
Exactly. And you're using your most actionable spot. That's what at least we're told, right? Everything's just what we're told. But the most actionable spot is being used to send them away from your website.
Oh, okay.
So that's a really disappointing thing. You're like, well, guess what? I just sent you to Facebook after I worked so hard to bring you off of Facebook. Thanks.
Well, I have a Google site too. I have a Google site. So we'll have to talk afterwards. You're gonna have to help me with that.
Of course, yeah. Well, so this kind of button here then would link off to Calendly or whatever booking site you use, that they could book a free call. And of course, who doesn't love seeing the word free in big,
right.
bold print right here?
Right.
So when you do that, that kind of leads them then to working with you. Because if you end up on Facebook or Pinterest, by my time, I've just decided that I'm going to spend it all looking over there instead of at what you have to offer. And so if instead...
I did come across something about using Pinterest to do blogging and get people to come back to your website. So maybe there's a possibility that it would work that way too.
Well, it depends if you share the blog on Facebook and there's the first link.
There's an out of a box for me. Okay, that's what I was looking at that. But I don't usually use Pinterest. I only use it to pin things. That's all I use it for.
Well, so those were the most out of box ones that I could come up with.
I love that. I learned something. Thank you.
Well, because like when Julia and I were talking, we were like discussing like SEO and social media, but that's all been done before. All the time you hear about like post on social media, that'll work, and you know, all that kind of stuff. So I was like, these are the most informative tips that I know of that, you know, works in a different way, that are all still in the end trying to get you clients at the same time. So if there are any questions, let me know. I will try to help as best as I can. And then that's kind of all I came up with. Go ahead. Sorry, Mariana.
No, it's good. How would you like promote yourself off of social media, say, or offline, off web, you know?
Off web. Okay. So that I would mainly then try to deal with people in person. So I would kind of go and visit locals and all that stuff. Like I'm Catholic, so I go to church. I see pregnant people all the time in my church, but I'm not going up there and like, hi, I see you're pregnant. I'm a doula. Guess what? So my biggest thing is I kind of let other people do the work for me. So in my church, like 8 out of 10 of the church ladies that I socialize with know I'm a doula. So because like I'm new to the area, I just moved here 2 years ago. So I get them to do it for me. So they're like, oh, I know such and such person who's pregnant. And then they bring me up. Now, a lot of the people here are older and they still don't get the difference between midwife and doula. So I have to remind them this kind of stuff all the time. So
got 10 minutes left. Okay.
Yes, yeah, I'll try to keep it short. But
and then we'll come back to mine.
Yes, yeah. Well, I would really try to just like get to know the locals in a sense, get to know the businesses, put up posters. If you're working more with like hospital births and that kind of stuff, get to know the doctors in that area. A lot of them have like in their clinics and stuff like those little slots where they get all pamphlets. Ask them if you could make a pamphlet. You can make one on Canva, and if you have a printer at home, you could print and fold a few. And just ask them if you could set a few pamphlets up, and maybe it's just as simple as what is a doula and your information. So because in-person stuff is a lot just on the location of where they might find you. I've seen some people, they make bumper stickers and then it's on the back of their car. They just have like a bumper sticker, and apparently bumper stickers do gain a lot of attraction. We had a misunderstanding and a cop pulled us over the other day. He's like, I love your bumper stickers. Because it like said, oh, Jesus, Mary is like the family tree kind of sense. And so it was very like religious stuff. And he's like, God bless at the end. And So he read the bumper stickers. So at least you know bumper stickers works. So that would be kind of the in-person stuff that I would do, because with pregnancy and birth and stuff like that, they're everywhere. As a woman, you like to go shopping at the grocery store. You like to get your hair done at the salon. Like, they go everywhere that you might possibly go. So I know another person in my area where I used to live, she did talks at the library. So she would just ask them if they could have like a free like hour slot, say, in the evening, and it was open to any of the library patrons and stuff like that. And since the library hosted it, they sent it to their email list. So it was like double boosted at the fact that they had like posters made and all this stuff, because the library was sponsoring it in a sense. So especially if you do like a free educational thing, people love, like I said, the word free, ding, 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 lights flashing, and you see like a free event, or like if you did say like a free birth class talk that talks all about comfort measures at the library, you know what I mean? That's really informative stuff that you would get at a childbirth education class that you have to pay money for here in Canada. So that would right away strike them. Ooh, I could get that for free over there. And so offline, those would be the methods that I kind of would try to aim to do. I've kind of been, Julia knows it, but I've been a little out of it lately because with COVID, I started working online more. So I kind of did less doula stuff, and now I'm way more into the businessy and working as a VA, virtual assistant kind of stuff. So it's been a lot of a different life the past 2 years. So, 3, because we're 2023. Well, tells you how much I'm paying attention to time.
I know, it's totally different now. I mostly do virtual clients too, or the teaching. So that's basically what I've been doing too. But I do have one client. She's moving to Kansas, so I get to be at a birth hopefully later on in July. At first, I thought I wasn't gonna go because my car wasn't working. I was like, "Oh, now it's working. Thank you, thank God." I have an old car, okay. No, we just have to change things out on that one. But anyway, so what else I was gonna ask? I was gonna ask about promoting my books. Maybe how would I promote my books a little bit better since I'm an author?
It's mainly mailing list, from at least because I write different books than Julia. I write romance novels. But like most of the stuff that I've seen in the author circles, at least, is mainly mailing lists and Facebook, like social media kind of stuff. You could, like with the library thing again, you could ask them if you could do a reading. I've donated books to the library, so that way my name is there, they see it. So if you have that page at the back of it that's like, hey, this is all about me, and instead of a book,
I have the books. I was gonna give them to a bookstore, but you know what, I should just donate them to the library, and then maybe there's a library about 20 minutes from here. I should just go over there and say, hey, can I do like a talk about my books or my doula stuff, or combination, because my books kind of relate to my doula stuff anyway. So yeah, I should do that. I should just say, hey, can I do something over here? That's a good idea, because it's just been a while since I've gone more in person stuff. So I think it's a good idea.
Well, of course, it totally depends on your level of like public speaking. Like I ever since COVID stuff, I completely have lost all of it. Like my parents got remarried
no, really?
2 weeks ago. Yes, yeah, they did a renewal vows, and I had to like read the prayers of faithful in church, and I'm like, just look at the paper. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm just looking at the paper. There were 6 people in this church. It was me and my family and a few people in the choir. That was it. It wasn't busy, but I was sweating buckets, and I was like, please, hopefully nobody can see me. So of course, it totally depends on your level with public speaking and stuff like that. But that's kind of the methods I would go for and everything like that, because I also sat in at a childbirth education class before COVID and everything. So one of the midwives were hosting like a childbirth education class they did there. So I asked if I could sit in because I needed it for one of my assignments. And so she let me sit in and everything like that. And then they kept wondering why I was there. They're like, who's that random person sitting in the corner? So then the midwife was like, oh, let me give the floor to her for a minute. She can explain who she is and everything like that. So after that, I had people asking me questions like, what is a doula? What did they do? So in a sense, you network
good idea.
that way as well. So of course, it depends on your area, how much you've got going. Because like where I live now, There are no midwives at all. There are only midwives in the big cities of Regina and Saskatoon, and they only help people in the cities. So they don't even travel outside of that location. So the idea of a midwife here is not, I'm not finding one.
No, no. Oh. So I guess we could go ahead and take a 5-minute break and then get on to the next one. Does that sound good?
Yeah,
Like-
works for me.
Okay, let's do that. And I'll stop